was wondering, 1.5 days into this conference, what else can we say? And I was wondering whether I should even try, but I decided that at least I should deliver what I promised I was going to deliver. And I'll start now, reading, if everything works. Exactly 10 minutes. I will be glad to present to you how Imagine IC has been investigating the Zwart Beraad resistance movement as a faceted object of heritage. And I will read because of a character flaw, because if I don't read, this all will be way too long. Zwart Beraad is a vast ensemble, and in the tangible domain of it, I will make reference to archival material as well as the urban landscape. It also includes, obviously, intangible elements, and I will zoom into Zwart Beraad as a performance. Our museum seems to only be able to hint at most of the dimensions of the ensemble. Or what more, we were asking ourselves, can we do to address this ensemble that is, on top of it all, also highly charged? Zwart Beraad, difficult to translate, but let's try with black deliberation, like a comet, appeared on the scene in 1996. These were the days of upcoming major urban reconstructions of the Amsterdam Bijlmer neighbourhood. The movement, Zwart Beraad, protested against the political tradition of white borough administrators being installed by centre of town and nationwide political parties to run a neighbourhood in which half of the inhabitants or more were of colour. Local politicians, civil servants and citizens of colour mounted the barricades, arguing that those living in the Bijlmer know best how to change it, how to improve it. The Bijlmer is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. The area was set up as a solidly modernist plan, where a mere concrete utopia was to take form. It was a park in which 11-story high-rises were planted next to trees and bushes. But the targeted middle classes from the overcrowded post-World War II inner city did not come. They went elsewhere. And at the time imminent independence of the then Dutch colony of Suriname led up to growing numbers of residents of Surinamese descent, who had to mount their own barricades to make that happen. Imagine IC, as our chair for this session already mentioned, is based in the Bijlmer. We are a mix of an archive and a museum, and above all, that platform to talk about what is crucial in the daily lives of the area. As a network, we identify items to add to collections and canons of the city and the country. We understand heritage as the always temporary result of a continuous negotiation between all kinds of individuals and actors in society, including museums and their staff. And we understand it as a collective cultural production, for the items at stake are labeled as heritage, are made into it, by people who differ from each other in many ways, and arguably, especially in urban contexts. They have sometimes very strongly divergent feelings about an object, and it is exactly in the process of negotiating such an object as heritage that we hope that they, actually meaning that we all gain insight into other people's lives and ensuring perspectives and visions for the future. Like that comet, Zwart Beraad seemed also to fade fairly soon. Media archives and government archives, both testifying to the unbelievable commotion the movement provoked, seem to testify to this very quick fade out as well. But actually, the memory, proud as well as painful, did never disappear. And in order to complement the written archives, in 2016, a group of leading Zwart Beraaders, now of age, together with Imagine IC, actually inviting Imagine-IC, started sharing what we call the archives of their minds. Zwart Beraad had hardly produced any written documents themselves. No Berader had ever taken minutes. We thus recorded memories, both from within Zwart Beraad and from the perspectives of those addressed by the movement, such as aldermen of the time. And we've come to involve in this process also younger generations affected by the movement, for example, claiming to feel tributary to it. Among them are current members, also of color, but also not, of the Amsterdam City Council, and a person like Quincy Gaglio, protagonist of the quite bold activism against Black Pete, and designer of this hoodie in our permanent show. The research of Zwart Beraad as an object of heritage, the actual making it into an object of heritage, labeling it as such in order to safeguard it for the future, thus came to include not only its archives and the archives of minds, sharing first-hand memories from various perspectives, but also meanings for next generations. And in an event that we organized in last June, together with Rijnwaard Academy and the Tropen Museum of Amsterdam, we then sought to add to the archives of words, so the archives in words, either on paper or recorded, an investigation of the Zwart Beraad archives of the body, or in the body. One finding was that we may want to read the faces that, for example, Zwart Berader Renate Hunsel, on both the two first pictures, made upon hearing others talk. Her expression spoke affective volumes, you may want to say, and valuated the varieties of the story of Zwart Beraad as told by others. And another very telling intervention was that of a gentleman interrupting, not at all complying to the chair's house rules, and quite insistently, even aggressively, making his point of places like Imagine-IC still being managed by a white person, me, and then leaving. The performance was immediately recognized by Renate Hunsel as the kind of activism of Zwart Beraad. The man did Zwart Beraad instead of sharing his memories or meanings of it. It is also the kind of activism that I experience more often, that is, so to say, done to me, or is that even with me? Let me share with you the email that I recently received from an anti-racism activist. The sender felt wronged by us, by Imagine-IC, and I tried to start a conversation in order to shed light on how things had led up to this, what our position would be, or had been, and to coordinate maybe what could be the best solution for us all. He kept repeating his point, his demand, and his ultimatum, and his last words were, "I'm telling you all this, and I need no answer. It will only make me more disappointed in you." This, what we may want to call, I've tried to find the word, one-way activist performance, although it still needs two to tango it, can be understood, I propose, as an archive, with reference to Diana Taylor's The Archives and the Archive and the Repertoire and others. It documents in an embodied way a variety of knowledge, an embodied knowledge of Zwart Beraad and or of activisms that may or may not be directly tributary to it, and it passes on this knowledge in that same embodied way. Moreover, Diana Taylor argues, it communicates a way of being, and as such is an embodied document of a whole frame of reference, a repertoire, a social identity, which it also transfers. It is an act of transfer of a particular experience of the world, namely that of, and I'm trying here for lack of a better word from my part, namely that of a disadvantaged position in colonial and post-colonial realities that are staged by the Bijlmer urban landscape. A lady approached me right before the June event. "I may leave early," she said. I have been so much in dubio whether to come or not. Zwart Beraad is so intimidating. They have put off so many sympathetic white people. I thought that was a very interesting contribution to the emotion network evaluating Zwart Beraad, to a multi-perspective meaning-making of it. She stayed, which I took as a commitment to living together. She said, I'm glad I came. I kind of understand now why they acted that way. In our museum, in combination with hinting at an ensemble like that of Zwart Beraad, at ICH in context, by exhibiting material, tangible snippets of such an ensemble, we at Imagine IC feel that the core of our work is to continuously set up such negotiating tables of heritage in order to promote maybe that participants meet beyond their bubbles and can be triggered, affected, to change positions towards other people. One great challenge is how to seduce people with divergent feelings to take a seat at the same table at the same time. And we should not expect rose gardens, as Leontine and other people during this conference already warned us, for of course, I was really angry and felt very insulted by the email I got. Though I'm not suggesting that it was unfair.